This is your Ride Companion Builder tutorial. So Ride Companion has some new features now. You're able to build your own module for Ride Companion. So how you start is if you want to build a new module, go into Ride Companion, you go into Settings. If Ride Companion doesn't have an app listed right here, just add it. If you have the app on your phone, it's going to show up in this list. These are all driver apps. And you select one. Say I want to add Grab. I select it, I press the check mark, it's going to show up in the list. Now if I want to program Grab, or if I want to program Grab, I press on Grab, click on Auto Learning, can read it, check mark, then you click Learning, read it, check mark. And that enables learning. We'll go through that in a minute. So now, with learning enabled for Grab Driver, every time I open it up and Ride Companion detects a new screen, it's going to ask me if I want to remember that screen. So I'm going to open up Grab Driver. You can see the notification. When you get that notification, you have to select one of those options at the top. This is the first time opening up Grab Driver. You would have to select waiting, offline, request, or start, depending on what this screen is that you're looking at. Obviously, you don't need to save this screen for anything, so we won't. But if we were in, say, Uber Driver, and this would be your offline screen. So I would press offline. Once I press start, it's going to ask you, I put down a button. What button did I press? You click one of those, whatever one you pressed. Same thing again. Go back offline. If you wait a second, the next notification will show up and it'll ask you what screen you want to save. If you want to save a screen, you just select it from that list of options right there, and you just save it. And once you exit the app, the notifications will stop. Now, after you grab a couple of screens and go into RC Builder, you can see I grabbed a bunch of them for Uber Driver. And you can see all the app modules that you have loaded in the Ride Companion now. I have some screens for Lyft. And what you can do with these is you can program them. Okay, so we have a new screen for Uber Driver right here. Okay, it doesn't have an event. It hasn't been programmed. That's why it doesn't say anything in the status box or nothing. The ones that have been programmed will say something. Okay. So what you can do is you press on the screenshot. It's going to show you this screen here. It's going to show you all the text that it can find in the screen. You press on it again, it's going to show you all the buttons that it can find in the screen. Okay, if they're already programmed in the configuration module, then they'll show what that button does. Clicked driver mode toggle. That's your driver mode toggle button. And this one in the corner here says click driver mode toggle. You have to press that button to get to the next menu to click on the go offline button. This is your driver mode off screen. So we select driver mode off as the event. After we select the event and we want to confirm it, we press the selected checkbox, we checkbox it, and now we can test it to see if it worked. It worked, it detected that's the driver mode off screen, and we'll save it. And now that one's in the module, and it'll detect that screen every time. Now if you want to program a trip request screen, there's a trip request screen, you click on it. Say you want to find, this one you have to program in order to be able to filter things. So this is different. You not only have to program the buttons, but you have to program the values you want to find. So if you want to find the service category, that's Uber X. You can see it right there. I'm going to press on that. It's going to pop up with this box. You have to select a variable name, service category. You have to press the button that has the value you want. You press the check mark to save it. Then you can go to 14 minutes. That's the estimated time of arrival, the time it takes you to get to your pickup destination, you know, where you're picking up your passenger. And then you press 14 minutes. It's 14, not anything with words in it, because the estimated time of arrival has to be only a number. So 14 minutes. Checkbox, that'll be saved. This is their customer rating. Click it. That can be saved. This is your distance to the customer. .2. Okay, that'll be saved. Now that programs that one. You can test it. If it worked, all the variables came up. You can save it. Now I can go into this one. This is the new overlay for Uber that causes so many problems, but not anymore. You can see that Ride Companion can detect it just fine. Even with self-programming. I self-programmed this one and it worked great using this RC builder. So you can see that's how it works. Now if you want to program a button in your trip request, you can see that it says click driver mode toggle. That one's already been programmed. But one that hasn't been programmed, excuse me, you can program, or you can just click on this one. And that's the button you press to accept a trip. Click to accept trip. Okay, press it again. This is what happens when you mess it up. I'm going to delete the configuration. And because I added a button by accident, it thinks it's a driver mode toggle button. So now I have to redo that. But you can see how it works now. See, nothing was programmed anymore. I can go in here and go to UberX. I'm going to select an event first. This is a trip request. Trip request. Save it. I'm going to go up here. This is my trip accept button. That again just to see if it worked. Click accepted. Save it. I want to find all my variables. Same thing again as before. Service category, UberX. Customer rating. Estimated time of arrival. Estimated distance to pick up. You can see that it worked. Grabbed all the variables. And save it. That's pretty much it. That's how Ride Companion works now. You'll be able to add any app to it just that easily. The only thing you really have to pay attention to is you really have to grab a bunch of screens. Okay, you're going to want to grab probably like 4 or 5 screens from the driver mode off screen because that changes a lot. Same with waiting for request screen, changes a lot. The trip request screen probably won't change ever. That'll always work just like that. Or with this one. With this one right here. If I press test, I might have to program that one. See, I don't have to do the variables again. I can just, what is this, a trip request, and I'll grab all the variables. You can see that works just great. Once you program the variables for one screen, you don't have to program them for each individual screen, only for the event. So that's it for that. I hope it works for you. If you need any help, just drop me an email at ridecompanion@gmail.com. Thanks. Bye.